Hey, so I know that a lot of you want to speak faster in English. However, sometimes when we speak fast, the clarity of our message is lost. So there's one simple trick that can help you to speak faster in English. Simply use less words to portray or deliver the same message. So in today's lesson, you will learn 10 very common everyday phrases that you can shorten to speak faster and more naturally in English. Let's go. Our first phrase, the long version is, I have not seen you in a long time. I haven't seen you in a long time. Now you can shorten this phrase to long time no see or long time. You can simply say long time. Now, this phrase is appropriate for social and casual situations. Imagine that you have a friend or an acquaintance, someone you know, who you have not seen for a very long time. It could also be a neighbor or someone from your area. Okay, so you just haven't seen them in a while. Instead of saying, I have not seen you in such a long time, or it has been such a long time since I've seen you, you can simply say, long time no see, or long time, all right? It is very common, it is very natural to simply say long time and then continue the rest of your conversation. A lot of times people say, long time, how have you been? Or how is everything? All right, so that's our first phrase, long time. All right, number 2, our full phrase is, it's been a while since I've seen you. It has been a while since I have seen you. This is a present perfect sentence, grammatically correct, nothing wrong with it. However, you can shorten it. You can simply say, it's been a while. It's been a while. The phrase, it's been a while, literally means it has been a while since the last time we saw each other. So again, this one is useful when you haven't seen an acquaintance or someone you know for a long time, a few weeks, a few months, a few years, whatever the case may be. And then you meet them, you can say, it's been a while. It's been a while. In fact, it's actually more common and more natural for people to use the shortened version of this phrase and simply say, it's been a while, rather than it has been a while since we've seen each other or since I've seen you. Now, the length of time that you haven't seen the person doesn't really matter. It just matters that it seems like it's been a long time for the two of you. So you could also use this phrase with, let's say, a colleague who you do see often, but perhaps your colleague has been traveling for business and you haven't seen them for maybe a week or 2 weeks. It doesn't have to be a really long time, all right? As long as you feel like it has been a long time, you can use this phrase, it's been a while. Our next full phrase is, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Now, do you know what I mean actually means, do you understand what I intend to say? Okay? Do you know what I mean? You can simply shorten this phrase by saying, know what I mean? Know what I mean? Okay? And you can hear the connected speech in my pronunciation. I'm sort of connecting these words into one phrase. Know what I mean? Okay? Know what I mean. Now, this is quite casual, conversational. I would not recommend using this one at work, but it's totally fine to use with acquaintances, friends, family. Okay? When you are checking if someone understands your point or understands what you're saying, you can simply say, know what I mean? Our next full phrase is, do you get it? Now, this is already a short phrase. Do you get it means, do you know what I mean, or do you understand? It has the same meaning as the last phrase. Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you understand? It's a very informal, casual way of saying, do you understand? But we can make this phrase even shorter by simply saying, get it? Get it? All right. Now, this is a good one again for casual, informal conversations when you're talking to friends, people you know well. It's not appropriate for professional situations. It's not appropriate for work. It is very casual, very informal, but it is extremely common, and I personally use it. Okay. So when you're explaining a story, or when you're explaining how you feel to someone, or when you are giving someone instructions, you can say, get it? Our next full phrase is I will be right back. I will be right back, or I will be back in a minute, or I will be back in a moment, okay? All of these have the same meaning, but we can shorten this phrase to be right back. Be right back. So let's imagine you are in the middle of a conversation with a friend who's over at your place and your doorbell rings. Maybe it's a delivery, or maybe you're expecting someone. You can say, be right back. Be right back. So it means you leave for a short time to answer the door and you are coming right back. Our next full phrase is, do you want to go home? Do you want to go home? So let's imagine that you and your partner, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend are out at a party and you ask them if they're tired and they would like to go home. Instead of saying, do you want to go home, or would you like to go home, you can simply say, want to go home, want to go home. Okay, want to go home. Again, very common, very casual, very conversational. In fact, whenever you ask questions that start with do you want to, you can actually shorten those questions. So another example would be, do you want to get something to eat? Okay, you're talking to a friend, maybe you're taking a walk and you're a little hungry and you ask them, do you want to get something to eat? You can simply say, want to get something to eat? Want to get something to eat? You can remove do you want to, and the phrase is still very common and very acceptable. Remember that all the phrases in today's lesson are casual, informal, conversational, so more so for use with friends, with family, acquaintances, in casual situations. Our next full phrase is, are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? So let's imagine that you and your husband or wife have dinner plans with some friends, okay? And they take a while to get ready. And you want to ask them if they are ready to go. You can simply say, ready to go, ready to go, ready to go, or even shorter, you can just say ready as a question, okay? Ready as a question. It's also really common to ask someone this short question when you are ready and you're basically ready to walk out the door and you have your shoes on, you have your jacket on, and you just kind of want to confirm that they are also ready to go, all right? So very common to ask ready to go, or just the word ready as a question, rather than asking the full question, are you ready to go? Now remember that all of the phrases in today's lesson are casual, they are informal, so they are not really appropriate for formal or professional situations. Just keep that in mind. Now, if you are trying to improve your overall English vocabulary skills, be sure to check out the weekly English Words membership. Myself and teacher Tiffany have created this membership to help you learn natural English vocabulary, idioms, expressions, and phrasal verbs in the context of real conversations. I will link the weekly English Words membership down below so you can learn more. As well, don't forget to grab your free ebook, English Conversations Made Simple. I will also link that down below. Our next full phrase is shall we, with a verb. So for instance, shall we go, shall we leave, shall we stay, shall we start, and so on. When you ask someone this question, shall we, it basically means that you are asking them, are you ready, or is it okay if we do this thing? Okay, so for example, if I say, shall we go, I am inviting you to go somewhere with me, and I'm kind of double checking if you are ready or if that's okay with you. But instead, it's very common to just say, shall we, especially when you are going somewhere. So again, let's imagine that you and your friend are at your place. You have dinner plans with a group of other friends, and it's time to go. You can stand up, you can head to the door, and you can simply say, shall we? Shall we? Okay, so instead of shall we go, it's very common to just ask, shall we? And in the context, the other person will understand the question without the verb. Our next full question is, are you coming with me? Are you coming with me? All right, now we can shorten this question to, are you coming? Or simply coming as a question. We just ask one word as a question. So for example, let's imagine that you are at home with your son or daughter. You tell them that you have to run to the store to pick up a few things, okay? And you want to ask them if they are coming with you or if they want to come with you. Let's assume that they're old enough to stay home alone and they don't have to come with you, okay? You can simply ask them, are you coming? Or coming. Again, very common, casual, conversational. Our next full phrase is, things are the same as always, or things are the same as usual. And this would be a response to the question, how are you, or how is it going? So let's say that you meet up with a friend and they say, how are you? How have you been? How's it going? And you want to say that basically everything has been the same, nothing has really changed. You can shorten this phrase and say, same as always or same as usual. So your friend asks, how are you? How have you been? And you say, same as usual or same as always. Okay, nothing has really changed. And this one is specifically going to be a response to the question, how are you? There are not many other situations in which you can use this phrase, but it is fine to use in response when you are answering the question, how are you or how have you been? If you enjoyed today's lesson, make sure to give it a like, leave me a comment to let me know, and subscribe so you don't miss future English lessons like this one. Thank you for watching, learning, and spending time with me today. I'll see you very soon in another one.